Wake that up.
LA's #1 hip-hop morning show is Nick Cannon Mornings on Power 106.
Frontline Radio right here on Nick Cannon Radio. Man, up close and personal conversations with people that I admire, that I look up to, that are truly leaders. And this person that we're about to speak to not only is an American academic, but a true civic leader, scholar, and so much more. Someone that I always reference, as well as just look up to. I can't say anything other than a true gentleman in our community, Dr. Melina Abdullah. Hi, how are you, Doc?
Hey, how are you? It's great to be with you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, considering the times, I wish it was all smiles, loves, and hugs, but this is the new norm where we can't even hug each other. We can't even, take time to smile because of the civil unrest, because of the pandemic. I believe the last time we were in each other's presence, I was probably inquiring and asking, how could I get more information? How can I be more a part of the Black Lives Matter organization and movement that is going on the West Coast? And you gave me some great advice, so much so that I went and enrolled my ass into college, into your alma mater, Howard University. And, we speak now, and, I now have my degree in criminology. It was a lot of hard work, and minor in Africana studies. And knowing that you are an academic, a professor, but also a leader in a community in these times right now, what are the words? I'm coming again asking for advice because I don't have the answer, and I know you have so many solutions.
Well, I don't know that any of us have the answer. And let me just say that I admire you too. So it's a two-way street. It's mutual. I'm so thankful that you use your platform in the way that you do, and that you allow yourself to really be led to do the work that our ancestors and our creator demand of us, right? This is our sacred duty. We can't call the name of Mama Harriet Tubman and then sit at home and watch TV, right? We gotta call the names and do the work. So I think I see this time a little bit differently than, in a wider view, right? So there's absolutely the pain and sorrow and rage that comes from the continuous killing of Black people at the hands of the police. You studied criminology, right? You know that policing evolves out of slave catching. It was
slave
set
patrols,
up.
the mindset, that's where it comes from.
Absolutely. So this is not an accident, right? When we see the murder of George Floyd, I think part of what resonated so widely for folks is you could almost see Chauvin as a slave catcher with the decision to steal the life of George Floyd, making that decision that, George Floyd's life didn't mean anything, making the decision that he had all the power. And so I think that's part of the rage, but we also know that George Floyd is not an isolated incident, right? That there are 601 people in Los Angeles County that have been killed in just the last few years at the hands of law enforcement. And so there's many, many George Floyd. So there's the sorrow and the pain and the rage, but there's also the fight back. So when you say we don't get time to smile, you know what? Our people have always taken the time to smile because that's how we survive, right? We have to take the time to love up on each other, to say, you know what? Congratulations. I'm so encouraged and proud and excited about your degree. I'm so... you're a scholar too,
I'm growing.
Yes, I think that's amazing. And we have to celebrate those moments. And I think we need to draw inspiration from the fact that people are saying there's some things that we have to.
You can say shit. Say shit.
I like to cuss a lot. Right? There's some shit that you do just have to get up and get out for, right? There's sometimes when they issue a safer at home order or a curfew or whatever, unjust laws must be broken. And we can't sit home and say, well, there's coronavirus, we might get sick. We want to stay as safe as possible, wear our masks when possible. But also, what's the real threat to Black people, right? I'm the mom of 3 kids. I cannot enable a system of policing that puts targets on their backs and mine, right?
Right.
And by sitting at home and not saying anything and, just tweeting or posting or whatever, we're helping to enable a system. But when we get up and we fight, it's inevitable that we win, right?
Right.
We win no matter how long the struggle, we gonna win that fight.
Absolutely. And in these times where we're talking solutions and we're talking to our leaders to say, what should we be fighting for? Because we angry, we mad as shit, we tearing stuff up, and even, even aside of the agitators who are just looting for looting, there's true anger and pain in our community. So, but sometimes we really don't know where to guide that anger towards. Obviously, we know we're upset with law enforcement, we're upset with capitalism, we're upset with big government, we're upset with the White House. But how now? Okay, they hear us. We have the platform. What are those solutions, and what are the proper things to be chanting and yelling and asking for?
So I say all protest is valid.
Right.
But I think that it's really important to have demands, and we have 2 demands. We want officers who kill our people to be prosecuted, and I'll just say, and put into general population, right?
Facts. Nah, that's real. That's real. And to the fullest extent, because again, I want to say, and we all know the statistics, but when you see the amount of lives that these officers have taken and the time served is ridiculous. When how on the different end of the spectrum where, and I'm not comparing the two, but when we say that Michael Vick served more time for what he did wrong than all of the law enforcement combined for the killings of unarmed black people. That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. And I think that as we talk about these prosecutions to the fullest extent, we also have to remember that the entire system is bound up together. So it's about policing, but it's also about the way in which district attorneys are in bed with police. So as we talk about the 2020 elections, let's not just talk about who's running for president. Let's also talk about local elections where district attorneys are enabling police to kill people. They are given the green light by refusing to even prosecute, refusing to even charge these officers. There's something else, though, that we also need to pay attention to. So as we want these officers charged, prosecuted, convicted, and put into general population, right? We also want to think about the entire system of policing.
Yes.
That most cities spend upwards of 50% of their tax base on police. And so we need to really reimagine public safety, community safety, and say we don't want to spend our tax dollars on police whose charge is really to put a target on the backs of Black people. So we want to defund the police. So the 2 demands are prosecute killer cops and defund the police.
Right. Now, Doc, you bring up a good point, and people often call me radical or unrealistic when I say we need to do away with law enforcement altogether and start from scratch. How realistic is that? I mean, or is that just a dream where I say, let's get rid of the police officers and create peace officers? They're like, you're not being realistic. But do we have the power to do away with law enforcement and start over?
We have the power to do whatever we imagine. We talked about Mama Harriet Tubman. Somebody thought she was crazy. How you gonna end slavery, right?
Right.
When you talk about, ending the first wave of lynching and Ida B. Wells and Mary Church Terrell and the Black Club women, they were like, what do you mean Black people's lives are valuable, right? When you talk about the building of Black Wall Street, right? They thought that was crazy, right?
Yeah.
They thought civil rights was crazy. They thought Black power was crazy or ethnic studies was crazy.
Right.
Every big idea people will say is crazy, but everything's crazy until it's done, right? Yep, and then they go, hey, we can see examples of it moving. So in places like Newark, New Jersey, where Raz Baraka is mayor, he's investing money, taking money out of police budgets and putting it into exactly what you're talking about, community care workers.
Resources.
People in the neighborhood respect other people in the neighborhood.
From the neighborhood. Right? Absolutely.
So why not employ, the OGs and say, why don't you be the peacemakers in the neighborhood? Now you employing neighborhood folks. That
Yeah.
creates peace because people have resources, and you're giving voice to people who people already respect. So no, it's not crazy. I'm an abolitionist, an unapologetic abolitionist. We need to end the system of policing as we know it and build something better.
There it is. Well said. And I appreciate your time, your presence, and your energy. You know, this is your home here. Whenever you want to speak, I'm rocking with you. And I not only thank you for being with us today, but I truly thank you for your inspiration and helping guide me towards my decision of, you know, going to get my degree from Howard on criminology and joining you in the fight in this Black Lives Matter movement out here on the West Coast.
Well, we so appreciate you. We appreciate you using your platform in this way. We appreciate your voice, and love you.
Love you back. Love you so much. Appreciate you. Take care, my queen.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll holler at you.
All right. Peace.